At the sender end, the data from here, it has to be encoded, and at the receiver end, it will be decoded. That is the encoding and decoding function of data link layer. This layer determines how packets are routed from source to destination. This layer provides for switching and routing technologies. This layer is concerned with syntax and semantics of data that is to be transmitted. Hence, it is also called as syntax layer. Dear students, welcome to Computer Science classes. I am Ravi Kumar KR, lecturer in Computer Science, Vidhyaashram First Grade College, Temple of Excellence, MYSURU. Students, let us start our discussion with the concept Introduction to Computer Network. So, in this session, we are going to talk about OSI reference model and TCP/IP reference model. Let us start with first one, that is OSI reference model. So, what is OSI reference model? The full form of OSI is Open System Interconnection. So, actually, what is OSI reference model? Say it is a reference model for Open System Interconnection, and it has been developed by International Organization of ISO Standardization in the year 1984. So it is a 7-layer architecture with each layer having specific function. All these 7 layers work collaboratively to transmit the data from one person to another person or across the globe. So what is OSI reference model? In our previous session, we have discussed about computer network. And what is the purpose of computer network? That is sharing of resources and also communication between two different nodes in a computer network. So it is nothing but transmission of data from one to another computer or from host to the receiver, or the communication of data between the sender and the receiver. So if at all the communication takes place based on this architecture. So this is a network architecture, and one of the model is OSI reference model. So this is the model through which data has been communicated from one node to another node or from sender to receiver. And OSI reference model, so it is a 7-layer model, means there are 7 different layers and each layer works together. This is all the 7 layer works together to send the message from one to another computer in a computer network. So that is OSI reference model. Now you can see this is the reference model. This is a diagram. It indicates the different layers of OSI reference model. So as I told you, there are 7 layers here. So here it starts with the physical layer, the first layer, physical layer, data link layer, network layer, transport layer, session layer, presentation layer, and application layer. So these are different layers of OSI reference model, and each and every layer has its own responsibility or functions to carry out, and each and every layer has its own protocols to work with. So this is host A, this is the sender, and same reference model will be applicable even at the receiver end. This is host B. So this is the sender at the sender end, and here at the receiver side. In both the sender and receiver supposed to be in the same OSI reference model, and here each and every layer will be associated or works with different protocols. Each and every layer will be having different protocols, and they have different responsibilities by transmitting data from one host A to host B. So actually, when you transmit the data at the sender end, the data moves from application layer to physical layer, and at the receiver end, it moves from physical layer to application layer to reach the destination or to reach the another computer or another node in a computer network. So this is how the data transmit in voice reference model. First, the sender, he will start with application layer and next presentation layer. The data move from application layer to presentation layer, and from here it goes like this in the same order. And after once it has been reached the physical layer, so this is the physical connectivity. So from here to another end, there is a physical connectivity from host to destination. So here, from here at the receiver end, as the host B, it is moved from physical layer to application layer. So finally, it reached the destination, and in the same format, how the data has been sent from host A. See, this is how the voice reference model works. Now, in the next slide, we will see what are different layer and its functions. So, first one is physical layer. So, physical layer, as we have seen in the previous slide, so I am talking about this physical layer. So, in physical layer, it is concerned with transmitting raw bits over a communication channel. So, what is the meaning of raw bits? Here, the physical layer, it will be connected. So, the data from our computer. So, our computer is a digital computer. So, data has to flow in the form of a binary number or is a digital data. So, digital data is in the form of binary numbers or a combination of binary numbers. So, at the physical layer, the data moves from in the form of raw data, in the form of bits and bytes. So, that is the function of physical layer, and also it concerned with the transmitting data in a physically connected to computers or the different transmitting medium. So, the responsibility of physical layer is to transmit the raw data through physical medium to the destination computer or to the another host. See, this is the function of physical layer. Next one is data link layer. So, what is data link layer? The data link layer is the here. So, it also associated with data link layer protocol. So, here and this data link layer from the host will be communicated with the host B, data link layer of host B. Now, a data link layer, here the main function of data link layer is to, this is for encode and decode raw data to form frames or packets. So, in the physical layer, data moves through the transmission medium in the form of bits and bytes, that is in binary data. And here the same data will be converted into a frames or packets. So, what are frames or a packets? So, the information of the data is divided into number of frames or number of packets during transmitting from through the network. So, this is frames or packets, nothing but the data is divided into number of frames of fixed length or number of packets of different size. That is the function of data link here. One is encoding and decoding. So, what is encoding and decoding? So, at the host end, at the host A, at the sender end, the data from here, it has to be encoded, and at the receiver end, it will be decoded. That is the encoding and decoding function of data link layer. Next one is network layer. So, what is network layer? So, this layer determines how packets are routed from source to the destination. This layer provides for switching and routing technologies. So, the next layer is network layer. What's the function of this? Is going to determine the best path or the best route to transmit the data from host to destination. Suppose from host to destination, if there are more than one path between host A and host B. So, the network layer, it determines the best path to transmit the data in the form of packets over network or through the network. So, the responsibility of network layer is to determine the packet, how the packets are routed from host to destination. So, here as I told you, so each data is divided into number of packets and in network layer. So, in data link layer, it is in the form of frames, and when it comes to network layer, it is in the form of packets. So, each data is divided into number of packets, and all the data moves from host to destination with not in the same order, in any order. So all these packets will transmit from host to destination in different order. So there may not be in a definite order. So for example, packet number 2 it may transmit first, and then after that packet number 5 or packet number 6, and it will like this. So at the even at the destination end, all the packets reach in different order at different timing. So that is the function of network layer. Is going to decide the best path to transmit packets over network. Next one is transport layer. So what is the function of transport layer? So it concerned with the actual delivery and error checking in the data once it arrives. So the transport layer responsibility is to actually is going to guarantee delivery of data from host to the destination. So I repeat once again, the responsibility of transport layer is to the guarantee delivery of the data from host to the destination, and also it has a function of error checking. So what is the meaning of error checking here? Suppose the data packets it may not reach the destination in time, or if there is a data loss during data transmission or during transmission over network, so at the receiver end it will ask for to resend the same data once again if at all any errors during transmitting the data over network. So this is error checking responsibility, one of the function of this transport layer. So it provides a guaranteed delivery of data from host to the destination, and also has some error checking technology. In the next slide we will see another layer, that is session layer. So what is session layer? This layer is responsible to establish a connection between communication machines. The concept here is, say, before a data transmit from host to destination, so a connection has to be established between two computers, or we can say a session has to be established between two destinations. A simple example is, suppose if you make a call through a landline to another phone number. So once if you dial a number from your landline, and once if it rings at the receiver end, or another telephone at the receiver side. So it keeps at the receiver end, it gets a ringtone. So once at the receiver end, he picks up the telephone instrument. So then they both of them can communicate each other, or they can transmit the data once both the system has been connected. So here that is called a session. In the same way, similarly, if the data has to be transmitted from host to destination, so the session has to be established between the two computers in a computer network. That is the responsibility of session layer, is to establish a connection between two systems in a network. Next one is presentation layer. So what is presentation layer? So this layer is concerned with syntax and semantics of data that is to be transmitted. Hence, it is also called as syntax layer. So here, the data is going to transmit over network, different system from different network, and from different types of data will be transmitting over network. So at the presentation layer, it is responsible for syntax and semantics as per the OSI reference standard. So here the responsibility is to check for the syntax and semantics as per the OSI reference model in that particular layer or presentation layer. That is the responsibility of this layer. Next one is application layer. So what is application layer? It provides access to various network services. It contains variety of protocols like HTTP, FTP, and etc. So here, what is application layer? If you look at the application layer, it is the top layer. That is the 7th layer. This layer is concerned with the application interface. So through the interface or application interface, the user can access different application or different network services through this application layer. So that is the responsibility of application layer. It provides an interface through different protocols working in that particular layer, like HTTP is the protocol, FTP is the one of the protocol. So all these is going to provide an interface to the user to access the data or to send the data through different applications. So these are all different 7 layers of OSI reference model. And OSI reference model, 7 layers model, and here from the sender end, from the host end, the data transmits from application layer to physical layer in this order, and through the cable or the through communication medium, data moves from physical layer to this physical layer of host B or the receiver computer. At the receiver computer, and the data moves from physical layer towards application layer. So at the end of this, so the data sent from host A reach the host B without any changes in the data or in the same format what the data has been sent from host A to host B. So this is OSI reference model of networking. Now in the next slide, we will see TCP/IP reference model. So this is another reference model. As how we have discussed OSI reference model, TCP/IP is one of the reference model for data communication over computer network. So this TCP/IP model, if you observe this, it has 4 layer, or it is a 4-layer model. So as compared with the OSI reference model, you can compare these two reference model here. So TCP/IP model, it was the old model. Then after that, OSI reference model has been introduced. So if you compare the two reference model, we can make out here the functions of all the 3 layers here. It forms only one layer, that is called application layer. And again, the transport layer is the same as transport layer here, and network layer is again as internet layer. And these 2 layers, data link layer and physical layer, forms a network access layer in TCP/IP reference model. So it is also a network model. This is of 4 layers model. Again, similar to this, each and every layer will be having its own responsibility or functions, and each and every layer will be having different protocols to work with, and with the help of that, data has been transmitted over network from one computer to another computer. Now let us see what is the definition of TCP/IP reference model. The full form is Transmission Control Protocol and Internet Protocol. So TCP/IP stands for Transmission Control Protocol and Internet Protocol. So what is TCP/IP? See, it is a base communication protocol of the internet. So the internet, you know what is internet now? So internet uses TCP/IP as a reference model. So the part of TCP/IP uses numeric IP address to join the network segments, and TCP part of TCP/IP provides reliable delivery messages between the network computer. So if you look into the TCP/IP, there are 2 parts here, or you say there are 2 different protocols. One is TCP, second one is IP. So here IP stands for Internet Protocol. So what is IP? It is nothing but IP address. You might be familiar with IP address. So each and every computer in a network are identified by their address. There's an IP address. It is a logical address. So that is IP address. So this IP protocol, it provides an identity of a computer in a network with IP address. And another part is TCP, Transmission Control Protocol. So the function of TCP is to provide reliable delivery messages between the network computers. Means its responsibility is to provide a guaranteed delivery of data between 2 computers in a network. So when information is sent on the internet, it is generally broken into smaller pieces of called packets. So this is what you have seen in the previous slides. So whatever the data sent from host to destination, the first step is dividing into number of packets. So these packets are transmitted by different routes and then reassembled at the destination. So here, as we have seen in the previous slide, if there are number of packets of a data, it will transmit across the network in a different order. So at the receiver end, it reassembled at the destination to make a meaningful information. So here and also it take different routes. So if there are more than one path between host and destination, so the network layer decides the best path to transmit the data between host and destination. That is one of the responsibility of network layer, or here TCP protocol. Now TCP port is responsible for dividing the file or message into number of packets and putting them back together in correct order at the destination computer and make sure that no packets are lost in transmission. So it provides, that's why we say it is a guaranteed delivery of data. Means if at all any data is lost during data transmission, so it asks for acknowledgement, or it can resend the same packets to the destination. So at the receiver end, it is going to reassemble all the packets in a definite order. Now every computer in the network has unique address known as IP address. So this is this IP protocol or internet protocol. So every packet sent will contain IP address of destination computer. So each and every packet, it has been divided into number of data has been divided into number of packets. So each packet will be having the address of the destination computer. So that is your IP address. So this IP address is written as a 4 decimal numbers separated by dots. For example, 172.16.5 and .200. This is one of the example for one of the IP address. And here nowadays we are following, this is the format called IPv4, and now we are following IPv6, means it's a 6 decimal numbers separated by dot. See, this is the new version of or new addressing format IPv6. So this is an example for IPv4 format or addressing format of IP address. IP address is a logical address, and each computer in the network is identified by this IP address. So this is TCP/IP reference model. In the next slide, we will see the TCP/IP reference model and what are the functions and as well as different protocols available here. So in the application layer, see, these are different protocols: SMTP, HTTP, HTTS, FTP, SSH. All these are different protocols associated with the application layer. And what is the function of it? It generates the data, requests the connection. So this is that is the function of application layer. Then transport layer, it deals with, there are two protocols, UDP and TCP protocol. So it establishes error-free data connection. That is the function. Splits the data into smaller packets and obtain the acknowledgement of the reception of the packet. So it is a transport layer. The responsibility is it wait for an acknowledgement before transmitting the next packets over network. So it provides an acknowledgement for the data or data packet which has been received from at the receiver end. Internet layer, so these are the different protocols. It is ICMP and ARP. So it sends the packet, ensure that the packets are sent accurately, and routes the data to the correct network. So internet layer, it provides or it routes the data in a definite path. Next one is network access. So adds the destination MAC address, and this is the physical address. As we have seen in the previous slide, IP address, it is a logical address, and MAC address. MAC stands for Media Access Control. It is a physical address of a computer in a network, and it sends the data between application over the network and handles the physical infrastructure. So this network access, it deals with the physical connectivity between the two different computers in a network. So these are all 4 different layers of TCP/IP reference model, and these are the functions, and these are all different protocols associated with different layers of TCP/IP model. Students, so far we have discussed about the 2 reference models of networking, that is, one is TCP/IP and second one is OSI reference model. Let us continue our discussion in my next class. Thank you very much.